the latest episode of The Ugly Truth. Thank you so much for downloading. Today we are reflecting upon the loss of Kobe Bryant and his daughter, as well as the others that were lost in Calabasas over the weekend. Then we downshift into the Grammys. How much of it did we really like? We have a lot of thoughts. This, and then we downgrade into some raunchy stuff. We're talking about penises. Yes, we are, along with some ugly and awkward moments of the week. Thank you so much. Shop lipandclip.com. Enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you, from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie?
Please send me your penis.
Paula?
Usher minus herpes is in my top 5.
Uncensored as always, it's time for the Ugly Truth.
Welcome to The Ugly Truth. This is episode 435. Life is short, ugh.
I know.
Life is very, very fragile and fleeting and short. Obviously, we were all affected, and we have to talk about the Kobe Bryant helicopter incident. This is what's weird. Okay, how did you take it?
I didn't know, actually, because I was sleeping. I had taken a nap, and then Ryan and Olivia and Victor had come home because he picked them up from school that day. And Ryan came in my room, and he's like, Mom, he's like, do you know? And I'm like, do I know what? And he's just like, Kobe Bryant died. And I'm like, what?
What?
And I was just like, because then I started racking my brain, like, how? Right. And then he's like, he got killed in a helicopter crash. And I'm just like, what? So he's like, I thought you would have gotten a notification on your phone. So I picked up my cell phone, and sure as shit, there was one there that said, Kobe Bryant dead at 41. Of course, we started looking online to see, what happened. And then that's later, I think an hour later, we learned that his daughter had been on the helicopter. So the details started unfolding. And then it went from 5 people to 9 people and, all that stuff. So, we were just trying to figure stuff out because it was just so hard to wrap your mind around it,
Shocking. Well, so what happened, weirdly, Daryl and I were in the office, and I was doing some podcast stuff. As we'll talk about when we're talking about fun things, I was working on some stuff that's super fun for us. All of a sudden, Kobe Bryant started trending on Twitter. But only barely 1,000 tweets. What had happened was TMZ had broken the news that Kobe Bryant had been killed in a helicopter accident. Yeah. And I was like, what? And so I was like, holy shit. And I'm looking, and the TMZ website literally crashed.
Yeah.
You couldn't get to the information. And so I was looking at Twitter and seeing people repost. And so I'm trying to see. And the photos that they showed were smoke coming off of a mountain.
Right.
And when I was looking, I'm like, oh, man, it's really foggy. It was really foggy that morning. And even at 10 a.m., which is kind of surprising because usually the marine layer and stuff blows off around 9 in Southern California, from what I recall. Anyway, so I'm reading it, and I'm like, oh, my God. And I'm like, this is shocking. I was so shocked that this happened. And then a friend of mine texted me, and she said his daughter was on the plane. I go, where are you reading this? What is happening? I haven't heard anything about this, about who was on the plane with him. Then there was rumors that Rick Fox was on the plane, and that was a complete lie. And so I'm like, okay, you know what? I texted her and I said, we just need to chill because people are panicking, making shit up because yay, internet.
How did she know that?
She found a little article somewhere, and, the discussion of how these details came out, of course, will be discovered somewhere down the line.
Right.
What I heard, unfortunately, was Kobe Bryant's family and the families that were a part of this horrible thing, they found out via internet.
Well, and actually that's what, who was it one of the investigators or something like that? Actually specifically said something about TMZ because he's just like, we didn't even get to inform these families.
No. And
properly.
The thing is they would have known, they would have figured it out anyway, but
I know, but what a way to find out,
Oh, no, it's horrifying. I can't even imagine. But, I was shocked. And then when it was confirmed that his daughter, his 13-year-old daughter, GiGi or Gianna, was on the flight, and that they were headed to a basketball tournament at this facility that he had for kids to play basketball, men and young ladies. And I started to realize that there were likely other girls, little girls on the flight. And I lost it.
Yeah.
I started crying. I was like, why am I crying about this? Parents lose their children all the time, every day. This is not it's tragic in its dramatic sense. And it's traumatic because Kobe Bryant is someone that everybody really knows. He's an icon in his sport. He was trying hard to reinvent women's basketball. This little girl was like his little glued to his side at all times when it came to games and stuff. So I think what I had said to Daryl was, I don't understand why I'm so affected by this. I'm not like that. Shocked is one thing, but then when you had the children, all I could think about was his wife.
Oh, God.
All I could think about was the mother, because Vanessa has a baby, like 8-month-old baby.
Yeah, 7-month-old.
And I said, blessed is that woman to have other children, because had this been her only child, you might as well have just killed her.
I've always said that. I'm like, if something happens to my 2 children, everyone has like 30 seconds before I go in and blow my head off, because
you better sedate me immediately.
There's nothing to live for after that.
No, I don't. And I think that's the part that really hit me hard, was the baby. And then when you see that a mama and a daddy with their little girl was on the flight, a mama with her girls.
And the problem with the mom and the dad with their daughter, they had 2 other kids. And
yeah, but they're adult.
Even
were adult
so,
children.
though, they still lost their parents that day.
Of course. No. Of course.
You know
what I'm
I mean?
saying is they weren't like babies. They were adult kids.
Because it was such a family affair. I mean,
oh, yeah.
People lost parents,
Yes.
siblings, children, it's just mothers. It's just
I can't.
all of it. Husbands, wives, it's just so much family lost in that tragedy.
Right.
And I think, obviously Kobe Bryant is, very iconic because of what he achieved in basketball and entrepreneurship. And, and like you said, people lose children every day. But I think because it was in such a situation where it's not like he was unhealthy or he was doing something he wasn't supposed to be, like an overdose or something like that. It was just truly a freak accident. It's a real tragedy. And I think it's just because, and he was such a good person and
really great dad.
And, this is something that really bothers me when people say this in the media, is they're like, she was just such a beautiful person, or she's such a beautiful young lady. And I'm just like, oh, so if she was ugly, she would deserve it. I'm just like, what a stupid thing to say. I hate it when
I think maybe they meant beautiful soul.
We're just gonna have to move forward. And
here's the thing. I really agree with you that I think everyone who was profoundly affected by his death, whether it's fans or fellow players, which everyone's going to get the opportunity to show their respect for him in the next coming months. I don't know what I can't fathom that they would not do a public celebration of life for him at some point. I'm sure that privately they will do their own thing.
God, we already saw like an hour-long tribute on the guide the first day, and Victor's just like, how the hell did they put that together? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, it's still smoking on the mountain. I'm like, I'm not trying to
really
make a joke,
true.
but I mean, I'm just saying,
No, you're right.
it was legitimately still going on. And I'm just
There's
like,
still fire.
ABC already had, done remembering Kobe. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And I'm just like, what, they have this in the bag already just in case?
No, I just think that with the amount of media they have for him, the amount of interviews he's done, he was so gracious and so generous with his time that they probably had just an amazing amount of footage to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's tacky or not. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure how I feel about it. There were a couple of short 1 to 3 minute discussions from different reporters who knew him really well, different celebrities who knew him very well. There was one that was done last night. Her name is Ellen. I believe she's an ESPN reporter. She knew him quite well. She met him when she was 8 months pregnant with a baby girl. And man, did it hit me hard. Oh, wow. Boy.
Anyways.
Indeed. Anyway, all right. Well, speaking of tribute, let's talk about the Grammys for a minute.
God, yeah, let's talk about the Grammys.
Okay, really quick before we get into what we absolutely hated about it. There was a beautiful tribute in the beginning, and the reason I want to mention it is this. So Alicia Keys, someone I can barely tolerate. She's talented, though. I'm not saying she doesn't have talent, but personality-wise, I struggle with her a lot. She is one of those people that drinks her own Kool-Aid. She's like an Anne Hathaway. She comes out They have to acknowledge it because they are in the Staples Center, which is the LA Lakers home court. They illuminated Kobe's...
it literally just happened hours earlier.
Yes. They illuminated Kobe's jerseys at the top of the ceiling for the whole evening. So she comes out and then she starts singing the Boyz II Men song, which I absolutely love that song. And Boyz II Men comes out and they start singing the harmony. And I was watching it thinking, oh, this is such a beautiful tribute. This is gorgeous. I love it. And then I realized no one sings like this anymore. The bar is so low. The talent is just not there anymore. It's like, where are the boys? And I know I'm old as fuck, but I know that there has been some great music in the last decade, and we don't hear it on the radio anymore. Mm-hmm. It's only on streaming or radio, the radio apps or whatever. The stuff that the Grammys celebrates is so bad compared to what's really available. So I'm like, Boyz II Men, I'm like, oh my God, I missed you so much. You're so good.
They sang the national anthem at the NFC playoffs, and I'm just like, killed it. I loved it. I was like, they're so good.
I'm like, Paula, we're so lucky to have had the 80s and 90s as childhood because we had the best artists. We had the best.
I don't feel bad for my children because I forced them to listen to that music. So
it's because you're a good mother.
They know all the movies, all the music. And I'm just like, oh, well, do your friends know these things? And they're like, God, no. I'm just like, oh, okay.
So bad. Okay, so that was great. And then... let's talk. I mean, I went through the red carpet pics because I'm like, someone must have dressed nice, right? Like somebody didn't wear gray or pink.
What? Okay. It was nothing but wedding dresses and these goddamn puff sleeves that's been going on lately.
Oh, they're so ugly. Now, I showed you the one photo. Okay, first of all, I love country. I like real country music, not that pop shit that they play off as country music. Every single country artist that I saw on the red carpet was dressed so poorly. I couldn't even believe it. I'm like, who is dressing these country stars? This is so bad.
Did you see Tanya Tucker's performance?
Paula, did you see Tanya Tucker?
Okay. I don't know who did her contouring, makeup? But it looks like she got painted by a sexual. Do you know how old she is, Jamie?
She's not that old.
She's 61.
She looks
81. She looked like she was 85.
I was so saddened to see her face. Now, first of all, she's had way too much plastic surgery, which is what part of it.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Victor's just like, that's a really old 61. I'm like, yeah.
She's seen some things. Well, I mean, she was a teenage star. I think she was 16 when Delta Dawn came out.
I have no idea, but I was, well, at first I'm like, who is that?
So I don't know how you feel about Lizzo. I love Lizzo. I love everything about her. I know the whole overweight thing. I don't necessarily, but there's a lot of women who are large who are killing it in the music world. Forever it's been this way. Lizzo, to me, I know some people actually don't like her very much. They think she tries too hard. First of all, did not know she could play the flute.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I did not like her. I loved her black dress.
The dress was pretty with the gold sparkles.
Yes.
Yeah, that was really pretty.
Yeah, that's Christian Siriano for you. The man can fit a woman into a dress.
Well,
He's so good.
He can flatter her body. It actually, it made her look like elegant, and I think that's beautiful. A look that she never goes for. And it was very classic, and I really liked that look.
Beautiful look. I thought it accentuated her curves. It was a beautiful color. The sparkling was tasteful. It wasn't gaudy.
Well, and see, that's my problem with Lizzo is that I'm so overshadowed by her inability to be tasteful, and I find her very, very obnoxious.
I think that's a fair statement.
And crude. And so, and I feel like it is a bit of an act. Or maybe a defense mechanism. I'm not really sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And ever since she did that thing at the Lakers game where she literally had like a giant ass cutout for no reason. She was wearing what appeared to be fishnet stockings and a thong. And then she started twerking. And I'm just like, most basketball games are kind of family affairs. And so I'm like, I know you're famous, but that doesn't give you the right to just sit there and bare your ass in front of, children. And
right.
And when she receives awards and things like that, she's just not, she doesn't hold back on the language. And I just,
all right, Sister Mary.
I'm just saying that I I don't
The
like it
language
when
is offensive.
women. I don't like it when women are just really not very ladylike.
Okay, are you not the daughter? Aren't you not the mother of a daughter who's not very ladylike? Are you gonna beat it out of her?
I have a paper towel roll that I said I'm gonna write the lady stick on it and just smack her with it every time she does something gross.
That's funny. Okay, so outside of her personality, she looked really good and she sang well. The other person that I thought Ariana Grande looked amazing. I love her dresses. She's so pretty and she's adorable and she's a little sprite, but she can also sing her ass off. Which
I thought
really
her performance
enjoyed.
was fantastic. She got like out of breath for a second
Because she was singing for real.
And dancing, exactly.
Yes. I love her. And, I took Malia to see her in concert last summer, and it was so fun. So I thought she looked fabulous, and I love that she did 3 costume changes for the evening. I just absolutely love that. Shawn Mendes looked great. I thought he looked so good in his burgundy suit.
Yes.
Really liked him.
He's getting really skinny, though.
Let me just say this also on the Shawn Mendes thing. I've seen him live. He's very tall and thin. Very tall. He's like really tall.
Okay.
Did I preface that he's very tall?
I get the sense that he's tall.
He's kind of tall. Yes, he's very tall. He looked great. He and Camila Cabello did not walk the red carpet, nor did they arrive together. And I could not be happier. She looked like shit, by the way. First of all, I don't know why the industry is trying to shove her down our throats. I don't get it. She's not J-Lo, you guys. Stop. Just stop.
I don't know. It was... Her voice isn't awful. It's actually gotten better, but
she's a baby Janet Jackson, and as Malia's hairdresser would say, I don't want to see a woman sing when she whispers. Like, I don't need to see it. That's how she sings. She's always she's a breathity. She's the one that she's like, I just don't like her. I don't know, and I don't like that I feel like I'm being forced to be like, look at it, look at her, she's amazing. I'm like, no, she's not. Look at me. Stop it.
Look at her. Look at us.
Look at us. It's like, I don't care about Camila Cabello and her achievements at the ripe age of 22. I don't care.
Okay, so what did you think of Demi Lovato?
Okay, I don't know why people don't like her. I fucking love Demi Lovato. I thought she was beautiful. Now, she's not fat. She's just not drugged out anymore. She looks great to me.
No, I didn't have an issue with her appearance.
Okay, good.
Here's my problem. Obviously she's had a very troubled, I don't know what you want to call it. Upbringing, teens.
No.
Adult life.
I think she was a victim. She was a child star, and I think she was a victim of the pressures of staying tiny and trying to fit into the mold that they wanted her to for her pop music. And it's the Britney thing. They just were trying to fit her into a mold. And her makeup, she is addict driven. Right. And so she's had addictions her whole life, from eating problems to drugs to alcohol, and it all has hit her several times in her life, actually.
Right. So she sang this song about, I don't know, being alone or something like that. And, of course she had to restart it because she started crying. And
it had been 2 years since she'd been on a stage. She was nervous.
Well, she started crying. I don't know if you saw the tears.
Yeah, I did. I saw it.
And then, she was singing and all that stuff. She had like this bright white, dress wedding gown thing. I don't know what was up with the wedding gowns this year, but
there was a lot.
I'm listening and I'm like, I get it. You're back, you're brave. And, as everybody was saying, like, oh, she's so brave and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, here's my problem. I don't feel sorry for people who are addicted to drugs. I don't. I don't feel bad that she almost OD'd and she got Narcan and that she had to go to rehab and all that stuff, because no one victimized her. You know what I mean? Like, she victimized herself. And so there's nothing brave about coming back and doing your career. And so...
I understand what you're saying.
And like, I think about someone like Keisha, who was sexually assaulted. And she basically was like poo-pooed by the entire industry. And it's just like no one applauded. I don't even think she got to come back and sing. You know what I mean?
No, she definitely got her due.
Well, she got that song, but I don't remember her coming on stage. And
she did. I mean, I'm not trying to shit on your point.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're saying. She did not get a standalone in a formal dress in front of thousands at
That's
the
what I'm
Grammys.
saying. And then a standing ovation when she was done. And I'm just like, she was assaulted. You know what I mean?
And the dude is still working, by the way.
Exactly. And I'm just like, and she literally did nothing wrong. But, you know, I mean, how many performers or celebrities are out there that are, ODing left and right. Either they die or they come back. And if they come back, then they get to stand in front of, the whole audience and get a standing ovation. I'm just like, come on. Like, it's just so hypocritical.
Paula, I mean, any entertainment industry, I mean, hypocrite is their middle name. Or their first name. I mean, they pick and choose for sure who gets the honors.
Having Ryan and Olivia watch that, I'm just like, you know what? Don't take point from this. You don't get a medal or a gold star just because you didn't die from your OD, and a year later or 9 months later you come back after hundreds of thousands of dollars of top-notch treatment. And yes, suddenly you're clean after she had been sober for like 6 years. And so, I mean,
fair point.
That was just my whole issue. I
think that's a very valid point. And I don't disagree with you, actually. I mean, the addiction part, I don't know enough about why some people have addictive personalities and some don't. But I definitely agree that if it is your unfortunate card that you were dealt, I don't know what they were celebrating other than that she's back and sober again. And is that the same thing as celebrating someone like, someone who was raped by Harvey Weinstein and ends up getting an Oscar? I mean, I'd fucking stand up and stomp my damn feet if that happened.
Well, and if you know that you have like addiction issues, I mean, it's not like it was her first time. And she's
relapsed many times.
Even in our family, we have addiction issues.
Oh, hell yeah.
And so
yes,
we position our life to avoid certain circumstances. So that way we don't put ourselves in a situation where we might have problems. And so she had every responsibility to not put herself in a situation where she would not be having those problems, but she chose not to do that. And so that's just my feelings.
I completely agree. What did you think of the Usher Prince tribute?
I loved it.
Oh, you did?
Well, I'm a huge Usher fan. I mean, like,
I know. That's why I was excited for you.
Usher minus herpes is in my top 5. And so I thought he did Prince a solid. I mean, like...
Yes, I agree. You know what's funny is some people were like, tepid, lukewarm. And I'm like... It's Prince. No one is going to do Prince like Prince. Everything is going to seem different and not the same, Well,
not just that, but I mean,
you can't mimic Prince. You just got to do the songs, man.
Well, the songs he did, it's not like he was doing like, the beautiful ones or something like that, where he was like laying on the floor with his back arch going, no. I mean.
By the way, did you notice that Usher's nipples were hard? Because I did.
I know my nipples were hard, but...
I'm like, oh, his nipples are hard. Wow, he's really enjoying this set.
Well, it could have been cold, but...
I thought he was great. I enjoyed it.
He probably gets off on his own self. If I was Usher, I would. I mean, God, the guy's
no
smoking
kidding.
hot. I have had a thing for him for as long as I can remember.
Oh, forever. I know. Yeah. I know.
He's such a beautiful man. Although he's got like a weird haircut right now. I don't know.
He's getting old, honey.
Well, he's getting old. Maybe he missed his appointment. I don't know. So
before the Grammys, where he's honoring one of the biggest stars on the planet. Sure, I'm sure he just missed his haircut.
Looked like he had one of those like castles or like the rook at the end of a chessboard.
Oh yes, maybe it was on purpose, and it's just there was a lot of weird fashion, which you always expect at the Grammys. You expect something unusual.
Okay, well, for starters, I don't know why Billy Porter was at the Grammys. Did he sing something this year?
Yes, he does have a reason for being there.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but he definitely was there for a reason. I think he was nominated for something.
Okay. Second, I am always interested to see what he's wearing because he's always very creative with like his masculine feminine style.
Yes.
This award show, I don't know what happened. I mean,
it wasn't one of his best. I've seen better. I can't wait for the Oscars. I'm really curious what he's doing for the Oscars.
He reminded me of like a little boy that got into his mom's makeup and put on
the blue
like,
shadow
and put on like one of her dresses. And
I did love the lampshade where he could open and close the blinds should he not want to speak to you anymore, but it was a little too slow for you to do shade. You know?
He had a lampshade.
Yeah, his hat had things on it, and they would he could hit a button and they would open and shut like curtains.
Wow.
And so when he opened them, and he's like, if I don't want to speak to you, I'll just shut them. But the problem is, it's like, I'm leaving now. And it's like, it takes forever. It's
like, that's it. I'm going to my room. And then you're sitting on one of those seats that goes up the stairs. It's like,
yes. It's like, I'm really leaving. I mean it.
Or trying to slam a cupboard door on those like no slam cupboards.
Oh, I have those. You know how frustrating that is? Exactly. When I'm mad, I'm like, don't worry. I'll fill the garbage. I'll take the garbage out. It's like, God damn it. Yeah, exactly. Or what about now when we were kids, you could slam the phone down on someone and they would know it.
Yeah, now you press your button as hard as you can.
You're like, it's like, they don't even know. And they don't know.
My hands are so shaky, I'll accidentally hit like the speaker button. I'm like, shut up! And I'm just like trying to hit the stupid. I'm like, push the fucking button on this thing! I hate you!
I'm hanging up on you. And then you hit the button. You're like, this was so unsatisfying.
And then it goes to video call and your face is all angry looking down. You're like,
no satisfaction whatsoever like the old days. Oh my God. Anyway, okay. Enough of the Grammys. We've talked enough shit. Now, before we get into our ugly and awkward moments of the week, I needed to tell you this interesting story and what ended up happening. So the other night, we were just sitting in bed chilling and look at stand-up of people that I've never heard of before. Mm-hmm. Comedians all over the country, New York or LA mostly. And so I found this one comedian, and I've actually recognized her, and I can't remember her name right now, but I recognized her. So I was watching her thing. She was really fucking funny, and she was talking. She's like, I'm 51. I'm menopausal. I'm done with the menopause. She goes, so I have zero tolerance for piss poor men. Like, if you want to be with, and she goes, I'm not married and I don't have kids. Obviously, I'm never going to. But if you're going to tempt me to have sex with you, she's like, I've had sex with a lot of men and I've seen a lot of penises. So she considers herself a pro.
I wonder what you consider a lot.
She's 51 with no children and not married. I do the math.
Yeah, that could be like Carrie Bradshaw. Dick.
Sure. Now, listen, I think in another life, had I not fallen in love and had children, that would be me. Because I had no intention of having kids or getting married. So I could see myself being this person. And that's probably...
I don't think I could have that much dick. Like, I would feel guilty. Well, I mean, I told you I kept a list because...
Right.
Did I ever tell you I finally found the white book? And
yes.
There was the one guy I couldn't remember. And so I wanted to find the white book so I could look at his name.
Oh, yes, yes.
I stopped writing names after Victor.
You idiot.
I know. I'll never know.
Now we'll never know.
Good.
Now we'll never know. Anyway, so she was talking about, she said, she's attracted to younger men because they are not, she's like, younger men are great. She goes, age appropriate men, they have opinions and thoughts about what I should be, and I just don't want to deal with that. I like men. She goes, one good blowjob, I can convince him to convert to Judaism. So that's the kind of guy I want.
See, I'm thinking is it virility? Is that a word?
Yes.
I think you'll probably get that with the younger men, like quick turnaround time.
That too, and that she does like that. So anyway, she said, but because of what kind of person I am on this planet, I get a lot of dick pics. And she's like, and at first you're offended. Right? You're like, oh, how dare you? And then you start going,
I don't get offended. I'm just like, ugh.
So then she's like, so I get so many and I'm so desensitized now that I grade them. And if they're impressive, I'll say, nice job. Really like the lighting on this one. This is where you can meet me. Because it was a good size, I'm good with it, and of course this could be a routine, it's comedy, right?
Oh, she doesn't do that for real.
Well, she might, we don't know, but that she's talking about this, and I'm obviously paraphrasing because I'm not nearly as funny. But she said that she goes, so then when I get shitty ones, And, poor lighting. She's like, she goes, this one time this guy sent me a dick pic. And I said, literally the last thing I noticed in this is that it was a dick pic. She goes, I was so obsessed with that filthy towel hanging up in the background. Like, what did you do to clean? What did you clean with that?
When's the last time you cleaned your toilet?
Right. She's like, she goes, and that shit candle from Walmart. She's like, enough. She goes, I didn't even know your penis was in the photo.
And next time, face the mirror so I don't have to look at your hairy ass.
Exactly. So I'm laughing because I have received my share of dick pics, not as many as you, but I've been married longer.
Right.
So anyway, I'm talking about it, and Daryl goes, why? He goes, I would send you a dick pic if you wanted me to. And I was like, why would you do that?
I don't want one.
He goes, why would you do that? He goes, well, I'm just saying if you wanted one. I go, I don't want one. I never want one.
Girls don't want those things. We never solicit
Paula,
those.
Wait a minute. Paula, he goes, well, why do women want them then? I'm like, we don't want them. Who told you that? Nobody is saying, please send me your penis. No one.
Any text message, and you will see no one has ever in the history of mankind requested that.
Ever. And then he goes, well, why do they send them then? I go, I don't know. Why don't you ask at the next man club? I don't know. Why do men send dick pics? Can someone answer this question for me? Because there's not one female on the planet. There was one female somewhere that said, sure, send me your dick. And then it spread like herpes. Everybody thinks that women want them. Just like anal and eating out ass and all that shit. There's always that one girl who said, sure. And now it's a thing.
I've got one in my my filtered Facebook messages right now.
God damn it, Paula. I wish.
Usoff.
I wish that I had saved some of the ones that I got on Snapchat. I got so many dick pics on Snapchat at one point.
Well, remember our favorite thing used to be is to go to the casual encounters and just look at the pictures, not for the wieners necessarily, but just for the background.
Yeah, we wanted to see how
dirty their bedrooms were.
Oh yeah, it's my favorite. Okay, so in that, I'm so glad you said that because out of now doing research for the show, because I'm not a big fan of looking at goat ass or dicks or anything like that. It's not my thing. I don't care about your balls. I don't want to see any of that shit. But now I'm curious, and now we're talking about it. So I was like, well, what other weird shit do people do with their penises besides just send random dick pics from the bathroom?
What, like tie them in a knot or something?
Are you familiar with Reddit? Do you go to Reddit?
Yes.
Okay. So
wait, are you allowed to post those on there?
There is a group called Cause Penis.
And like COS?
Yes, Cause Penis. It is men who dress up their penises as little characters. I was obsessed. I spent almost an hour. Don't disconnect this because you're looking at penises.
I won't.
Go on your phone or something so that you don't fuck with our recording. But Paula, I was obsessed. There are men who go, I did a photo shoot for it's a 1920s themed photo shoot of his dick. It was art. It was art.
Whoa.
Paula, I was obsessed. There are some large penises.
Wait,
There was one where his pubic hair was straight and it was black and straight with a little bit of gray. And I'm like, what nationality is that? I've never seen straight pubic hair before.
This must be photoshopped. I don't know. This doesn't seem right. This guy's got a construction worker hat on his head and then a little construction worker hat on his penis.
Did you see the elephant one?
Hold on, I'm looking. This guy has... Wait, that can't be a real penis.
Why?
He's got a flannel shirt and a beard with like a beanie cap on it and a mustache next to a beer bottle.
Yes. Oh, is it really big or something?
What the hell is that? Oh, it's a sombrero.
Right.
But the head is like bent down, so it's like facing you.
It took me a minute to recognize the sombrero and the angles. But here's the thing. There's one in there where the guy looks like he's dead and his penis is just laying there with dressed up as something. And I'm like, okay, this is a poor photo. This is a dick pic gone wrong. So I couldn't stop looking at it.
The 20 themes one? I don't want to see the full image. I'm scared. Ew, that's a bit... Ew!
Okay,
he painted his penis yellow and put it in a banana peel.
You saw the banana penis. I I know. And so here's the thing. After a while, you're just curious. So I spent way too much time looking at this.
This guy has his penis snorting coke.
Did you see that? It was a big Friday night. Paula, I've seen them all. I saw them all. I thought that one was funny, actually. And then there's one where a guy has his penis laying on a stuffed animal and he drew arms on it.
I see it, like the
animal.
fingers, where you can put your two fingers together hugging. Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so this one has a like a metal hat or helmet on. God, that is a big vein.
Right?
Jeez.
There's some significant ones
like
in there.
You could put an IV in there.
I know. He probably wouldn't want you to, but
that's
you could.
stupid. This guy just did like a filter on his penis.
Right. Anyway, my point is this. By all means, after the show, continue perusing.
Ew, this guy's just buck naked with a Santa hat on his, and it's like it's like wrinkled at the bottom.
Isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting how you all suddenly you're like, you know what? That's really garish. I don't like that one. Next. And it's like, I literally started judging.
This one is so skinny.
I saw that one.
The Santa hat one?
Yes.
Oh, some of these aren't even hard.
No, there's one where a guy's playing with it.
He put the little googly eyes on it.
I know. All right, stop. Pause.
Okay.
We have to finish the show. So that's where my night went. After crying for the loss of people, I ended up at Cause Penis.
How did you even find that?
I was
You had to have been doing a deep dive somewhere.
What happened was we were having the discussion about why would I ever want a dick pic? And I'm like, no one ever wants a dick pic. I don't even know why you would think, why do girls want one? I go, why would you assume that girls would want this? Well, then why do men send them? I'm like, you ask me? I don't know. Why do they? You tell me, mister.
Guys like to show it off. Why do they unzip their pants and pull it out for no reason? And just like kind of start waving it in front of your face. It's just like, what, you think that's going to do something for me?
What do you want me to do? I mean, come on.
You get that thing any closer, I'm going to slap it.
Exactly. He's like, oh, will you?
I'm like, yeah, and it's not going to feel good.
No, you're going to be really sorry. So then I'm like, what? And so I said, I Googled, why do men send dick pics? And I got no real interesting answers. Nothing. No one knows. That's why. And so then ultimately I said, hey, have you ever seen anyone dress up their dick before? And I'm like, what? What is this? And so then I was like, what's this cause penis? And so I went, oh my God, this is amazing. I thought it was hilarious. And so
that is funny. Oh my gosh.
I spent a lot of time scrolling through that laughing. I thought it was great. And then every once in a while I'd stop and go, impressive. I can see why you'd want to show that off.
I can't believe that guy painted his whole penis yellow.
That's disgusting. That isn't even appealing to me.
That wasn't even on purpose.
No, I'm not like you. I don't do puns very well. You're
I was just telling, who were we talking about? We were talking about comedians, and I'm just like, a lot of comedians say that, they have a hard time telling their parents they want to be a comedian, and they're just like, well, I want to be a stand-up comedian. They're like, you're joking.
You're like, yes, actually, I am joking for a living. That's really funny. That's super funny. Okay. So on that note, let's do our Ugly and awkward moments of the week, Dick edition.
Okay.
I have two, and these are really funny. They're very different. Here's the first one. I got a dick pic from my husband while I was sitting right next to his mom. She saw. I knew she saw, and it was awkward.
Well, I mean, I hope the mom knew it was from her son and not from like some rando guy.
Well, my guess is if she's seen it before, she raised the child, she probably recognized.
Okay, the last time I saw Ryan's wiener, he was like 5.
I know. I'm sure. I don't know. It's pretty embarrassing, though. I first of all, why would you be sitting so close to your mother-in-law that she could see your photos?
Yeah, that's...
Maybe they were in church. I don't know.
Yeah, and he was in the bathroom. Be like, hey.
Hey, look what's going on over here. Can't wait for after church. Right. Okay, so this one, now you have to really hear this because I visualized it so clearly I was mortified for her. Okay?
Okay.
My boyfriend had been begging me to give him a blowjob and swallow. We were in the shower. I know. We were in the shower and I went down on him. He came. I swallowed. I felt sick immediately, jumped out of the shower and vomited into the toilet, which was in the same room as the shower. What makes it worse is the force from my vomit made me fart. So I'm dripping wet, vomiting semen, and farting while my boyfriend is watching from the shower. There are no words.
Well, I bet you never asked her to do it again.
Well,
Why did she just throw up in the shower?
I don't know, but I have to tell you that if that happened, I'd turn and be like, do you see? Do you see what you make me do?
See, I would have like punished him by throwing up between his feet, like into the drain.
You know what? I can't. I can't. It's the
And
whole
like
thing is
holding on to his
disgusting.
ankles while I did it.
That's a lot of semen, man. To have to throw. And can you imagine throwing it back up? Oh,
You know,
God, it'd be the worst.
I never make any promises. I just say I'll try. And then it's just
Yes.
like, I can tell like when they say
Yeah.
it, like they give you the heads up and I'm just like, it's either yes or no. And I
Yes.
just can tell. I'm just like, no, it's not going to happen. Or
No, you know what? You can definitely gauge whether or not you're going to do it, for sure.
like I could even,
For sure.
I'm just like either like, yeah, I have enough spit or nope, not enough spit.
It's happened to me. I've definitely made that judgment call at the last minute.
If I can
for
get
sure.
enough spit in my mouth to where
I'll do it.
then it'll be
Yeah.
fine. But if I just can't garner enough, I'm like, no, I'm not doing it.
There is definitely a talent to it, and it definitely takes practice. It is
Yeah.
not. I mean, the thing is that if you can do it, it's really nice because there's no
Getting
cleanup.
sick thinking about the taste.
It's so gross. I
God,
know.
it's such a,
It's a job.
it's just such a pheromone,
Oh, Paula.
pungent flavor.
Musky.
And, God,
It's very
it's
animalistic.
just so unique and
It is.
it's like snake venom. I don't know. It's just
Oh, that's not. It's
cow
not. You're not wrong.
snot. I don't know.
Anyway, all right. Well, those are the ugly and awkward moments of the week.
Okay. Well,
So there
those
we
were
are.
fun. So thanks everybody for joining us. We will be back on Sunday, actually, which I think is the Super Bowl, right?
It is, but the show will be there for you on Monday.
The show will be there for you. Go Niners!
Yes.
Other than that, in the meantime, please feel free to do some shopping at Amazon. Go to uglytruth.com, click on the Amazon button. Go to lipandclip.com and do some makeup shopping or skincare, body care, any other kind of care, jewelry. And then also, if you want to go to our Facebook page, there's a link to buy some Girl Scout cookies. You can get the kind that you want, and they ship directly to your home, so you don't have to be pestered by people like my daughter in front of the grocery store.
I will say this too. Producer Dub was such a sweetheart. He actually put a Girl Scout link on our on our actual website. So if you go to
Ooh.
uglytruth.com, right on the front page, you'll see the Girl Scout. You just hit click and purchase.
Perfecto. So, all right. Well, then, other than that, everybody have a fabulous week, and we'll see you on Sunday.
Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.